Good girl. All right, this is Addie. As you can see, Addie is a big mare. She's a barrel horse. Ooh, feels like you got a little arthritis in the neck right there. She's loving that. Oh, you loving that going down your back? Good girl. What's up, sweetie pie? Super sweet mare. Oh, can be a little more reactive than some of the others at this barn, but she's usually really, really good. Hey, nope. Good. Well, good afternoon, Cindy. This is Addie, and we got Maddie right behind her. That's playing with the phone. So if you see the camera shaking like it's about to, that's her. She looks like she knows she's being mischievous over there. Oh, stay here. So this is Addie. She's a barrel horse. Very sweet mare, but can be a little bit more reactive to pressure. You can see already like she wants to walk away, especially when I'm putting pressure on this side of her withers. So let's see if she does the same thing over here. Hi, sweetheart. And lift her back for me and see if she's comfortable in the withers as well, like in flexion. So you can see right there, when I ask her to flex up in the wither, she's just super pissy. And she's pissy in a way that makes me almost think that she has some ulcers. So I'm gonna check the ulcer spots. She is a big girl. Jose, hello, good morning. Barris, this one is a barrel horse. This one's a barrel horse. There are no flat racing horses here. These are all barrel horses, rodeo horses, roping horses, that type of stuff. Sweetie pie. But she's pretty sensitive at her sternum. And when I find horses that are sensitive like this at the sternum, just to light touch, usually they're also tender here. And you can see, I'm not sure if you can see that. Watch when I touch her here. Woo! So that's hurting her. So those are ulcer points, and I don't blame her for trying to bite me right there because she's pretty uncomfortable. So I'm going to show you guys the same thing on this side. So I'm going to show you the same thing here. So watch. See that? So she's real uncomfortable there. So, and the owner of Addie, she was saying that the horse felt really tight going around to the left. So if you can imagine, and you could see like she was a lot more sensitive on the left side than the right side, even though she does still have some sensitivity here. When I touched that left side pressure point, she immediately came down to bite. Well, if she's going around to the left and she's contracting all the muscles that allow her to laterally bend and rotate around to that side, when they contract over here, that puts a lot more pressure on that side of the abdomen. And if there's ulcers there, it puts pressure on those ulcers and it hurts. So they won't as comfortably go to that side as they will to the other side. There seems to be always a bad side. If they do have ulcers, you know, they'll tend to have them worse on one side than the other, or they'll be more sensitive on one side than the other. And that's definitely the case with her. So because she has ulcers, she's you know, when a horse has ulcers, they're usually more reactive to everything. So I'm just going to kind of take my time with her, just stay in a safe spot regardless of what I'm doing, just to make sure she doesn't try to bite or try to kick or whatever. Yeah, exactly. I mean, if I'm hitting areas that hurt, you know, and I'm continually doing that to assess, I got to be ready for them to react. And if they do and they get me, then it's kind of my own fault. But Oh, racing horses in Turkey. Awesome. You need a chiropractor over there for those racing horses, Barris? All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have her flex around and see if she can touch her shoulder. Whoop. That's absolutely perfect. And then what I'm going to do is have her do the same thing to the left. Let's see. Good girl. So you can see left to right, she's perfect in the neck. And with that being said, the owner says that she's tight going to the left side. So that even more confirms my suspicion that she's probably got ulcers that are bothering her. Because if she's all the way good to the left shoulder and the neck, then the neck obviously isn't the problem. So we're probably looking at some ulcer treatment for her. I'm always selling my services, Cindy. It's a dog eat dog world. Let's make that money. If a farrier removes too much of a hoof wall or reaches sensitive structures, there's nothing you can do. You just got to let them. You just got to let them heal up and grow that foot back. I mean, sometimes you can put pads on there or wedges, depending on what they did. Pads will probably be something you would want to do. But if they sort them up, you know, you just got to wait and get yourself a new farrier. I mean, if they remove too much of the foot, you just got to wait for it to grow back. Yeah, unfortunately, there's no fix for that. So when horses have ulcers, they tend to be more sensitive to all of the pressure points, especially anything that causes them to flex. So you can see that that's just a little pressure point along the back, and that's uncomfortable for her. So I'm just going to lighten up and go back slowly. There we go. So usually extension pressure points don't bother them too much when they're dealing with ulcers. It's the flexion pressure points that you got to be careful with. So if I drop her down in the pelvis into extension like this, I think her head came up, but that's fine. But if I flex her and cause her to collect a little bit or arch her back, that's all going to put more pressure on the abdomen, which is going to cause more pain where those ulcers are. Oh, hey, that we're not doing. Hey, stop. She just took a big deep breath. Easy. Easy. Again, they can just be a little bit more pissy when they're dealing with ulcers, so you just got to be careful. But you still can't allow them to come around like that. I mean, I don't mind if they come around out of curiosity. Oh, there we go. I don't mind if they come around out of curiosity and they're just checking things out. But that quick rotation of the head and neck around to get a piece is not acceptable. Because if you let them do it, next time they won't miss. So yeah, those flies are dealy bothering her, Cindy. The flies here are nasty today too. They're fucking, excuse me, they're freaking terrible. But they're bothering me too, and I'm not biting her. There we go. The other thing you have to consider too, when they have ulcers, is that the ulcers can irritate the area in between the ribs called the intercostal space. And in that space, you have what's called the intercostal nerve, artery, and vein. And if that nerve in the intercostal space, good girl, if that nerve in the intercostal space is irritated, that nerve goes all the way up to the wither. So you can have radiating pain from the area where the ulcer is irritating the nerve all the way up to the top line. So sometimes when they have ulcers, they'll be a lot more sore up here than normal and sensitive up here as well. And there might not be anything wrong up here where they're reacting. The problem is here, and that pain is radiating all the way up to the top line. What came out of my mouth? I don't know. Did something come out of my mouth? You know, I do my best to behave, but sometimes it just slips out. Then I got to apologize. I got to apologize to the YouTube people so they don't ban me for inappropriate content. But you know what? I didn't mark this live as being made for children, so I should be okay. Oh, good girl. That's a good girl. Slow is okay, quick is not. There we go. There you go. You know, got to be careful because I can't discipline too much. Otherwise, I'm called an animal abuser. All right. All right. So let's check her upper neck. Her motion was good all the way around to the shoulder. So her neck, I think, is just fine. I mean, that's beautiful motion right there. No restrictions whatsoever. Let's try her around to this side. I always like to check by doing the pressure points and then also by doing the manual range of motion test as well, which would be called a, oh, good girl, which would be called a passive range of motion. Oh, good girl. There you go. So that is all good there. Good girl. And a lot of times too, if they've been dealing with the ulcers for any length of time, you'll get some issues in the neck because if they have ulcers, what they're going to want to do is they're going to want to stand in an extended position, right? So they'll want to stand like we have an arched back. They'll be on all four, but stand like this. And because they're standing in that extended position, it causes their head to go up towards the sky. So then they'll have to hold their head down in deflection in order to keep the eyes level. So if they do have ulcers, you can sometimes expect them to have very tight pulls and extension because they're standing with their head tucked so that the eyes are level with the horizon. It's called a riding reflex, and they do it automatically. Ooh, girl. So you can see, like, we do have a little bit of sensitivity at the pole there. Super common with ulcers. And you know, a lot of people will get up there and they'll go, "Oh my gosh, look how sensitive she is at her pole," and they'll say, "Oh, her pole is out," which is a huge pet peeve of mine. Whenever I hear somebody say something is out, because nothing is out. It's just sore or it's restricted, and the muscles around the restricted area are tightening up to protect the underlying structure. Ooh. But this right here is coming from the ulcers because she can't comfortably stand in a flexed or neutral position, and therefore the head's not in a neutral position. So she has to compensate by tucking that chin down. So I'm going to bring her chin down to the chest. You can see that's a little uncomfortable for her. But we're going to go. Oh, there we go. There we go. Good girl. There we go. That's what I like to see. Love the head shakes, the licks and chews. Woo. There we go. Probably get a deep breath out of her too. Good girl. Easy, easy. Still dealing with that one. So whenever I do an adjustment like that, I just want to give them some time to integrate that, to release if they need to. And then once they're done licking and chewing and shaking and that type of stuff, then I'll go on to the next thing. But it's important to give them enough time to do what they need to do afterwards before moving on to the next thing. Oh, that's good right there. Oh, there we go. Love to see that. Oh, Cindy. Good on your husband. Emma is very familiar with that as well. There we go. That's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. Let's just recheck that pole. Good girl. So there we go. So much more comfortable with that. Beautiful. Huh? Good girl. She's a sweetheart. She's just hurting a little bit. Let's check this. Okay, so we got sore brachiocephalicus muscle as well. So this muscle comes down, it overlays the lower cervical vertebrae. Turn this a little bit. So the brachiocephalicus starts at C4 here, and then it goes all the way down, covers the lower cervical vertebrae, and it comes all the way down through here. And what that is, it's a big rotator of the neck. So if this contracts, it brings the neck around towards this side. Oh. Right. And if they're sore there, they can be sore a little higher in the neck too. So a lot of times if they're sore through here, you can see that jumpiness there. So she's got some discomfort right through there. They're also going to be sore through here. And you actually treat this area of soreness by working on this right here. So I'm going to show you how sensitive she is there one more time. And I'm going to clear it out, and then I'll show you how she responds right there. Oh. So here's that there's right there. The sense of sensitivity. Those flies off of her. All right, so let's say. All right, so let's get this area cleared up. Whoa, whoa, good girl, good girl. So I don't mind that head coming around slowly, her checking things out. It's when that head whips around like she wants to bite, that's the problem. Good girl. And that head shaking there is just from the flies. They're really bad today. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. I know. There we go. So you can see that it's much, much better. He's actually liking that now. Oh, yeah. Good girl. And then we can recheck this area too. And that's all gone too. So that's what I like to see there. Let's check the other side. So let's see. That side's easy. Good girl. That side's actually just fine. No issues there. Perfect. All right, let's see. Hey. Good girl. Good girl. Real comfortable doing that. Let's check her out in full extension. There we go. Girl. Good girl. There we go. They usually really love this one. If you guys want to learn how to stretch your horses, just visit the link in my description. Or you can go to sporthorsechiropractic.com, which is actually down, or it was down this morning for some reason. Sounds like WordPress did some type of major update and kind of knocked out some of the plugins that we use to run the site. So that's getting fixed right now. Oh, there we go. But if you want to learn how to stretch your horses, you can also search thrivecart.com and Sport Horse Chiropractic, and you'll find the course listed there as well. Girl. There we go. Ooh. Also, my book is now released on Amazon. It's called Stretching Exercises for Horses. It's available on the Kindle app, and it'll be available on Barnes & Noble and also available as a direct download on my website here pretty soon. Good girl. There you go. There you go. She's calming down really nicely now. Oh. Girl. Good girl. There we go. Very good girl. That's a good girl. Awesome. All right. Pretty active day today on YouTube. Yeah, that was a loud one. Hey, Bella. Good morning. Maybe good afternoon where you're at. If you guys wouldn't mind hitting that like button for me, I would greatly appreciate it, if you don't mind. Oh, sweetie. Girl. Oh, there we go. Good girl. Really nice hip release there. Move her over this way. Good girl. Oh, she's just moving into the perfect spots. Oh. Girl. All right, let's check this hip over here. No Gouda this morning? Good girl. Things get kind of crazy when Gouda comes into the chat. Oh, there we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, was that good? Was that good? Awesome. All right, well, I'm going to check her. I'm going to check her TMJs, and then I'll be all done with Addy. Got one more horse to do here. Little black gelding named Cartel. Oh, that's a big stretch there. Good girl. Oh, good girl. Check her teeth. Those look pretty good. Good girl. Horses usually love that TMJ stretch. There we go. I think I'll do my next live over on TikTok. So if you guys want to watch Cartel get adjusted, just find me at Sport Horse Chiropractic on TikTok. That's a good girl. Let's get her to work those TMJs a little bit. There we go. Anytime you got tightness in the pole or discomfort in the pole, you really want to check that hyoid, check the TMJs, make sure none of that is causing the pole issue. Her pole issue is, in my opinion, definitely being caused by what I think is ulcers. So I will be sending that over to the client, and then hopefully they can get her on some ulcer guard, maybe some gut X, try to get those ulcers taken care of so she feels better. Oh, there she is. Such a good girl. Oh, hello. All right. I know, but they do. At least they like it after it's done. Once you take your finger out, then they usually relax and start licking and chewing and taking deep breaths and everything. But it's just up on the gum line, so it's like it's up here. It's not like not like shoved in the mouth at least. I know. This conversation could really take a bad turn. I know she's trying to follow me out the stall. And I gotta lock her back in because she likes to escape. Yeah, we might be sent to the other side of YouTube if we don't leave that one alone, Cindy. All right, let's go find Mr. Cartel. So weird. It jumps up to like 20 people watching and then drops down to 14 and it goes back up to 20. Crazy. All right. So this is Cartel right here. So I'm going to work on him. I'm going to switch over to TikTok because I'll get a lot more eyeballs over there. So if you guys want to hop over to TikTok and watch that one, Cindy, I can even make you a moderator over there if you're interested. I might have talked to you about that before. Emmy. That's a cute name for an Aussie girl. Hey, big guy. Here's your big boy right here. So he's my next customer. So hop over there on TikTok and I'll see you guys in a few. Thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.